why didn't they put up barriers to keep the kids from coming down beside the railroad?
Right.
Beside the trestle, onto the road. Why wasn't there barriers put there?
Right.
Why isn't there laws to keep them from coming down there? Why doesn't the state put up a barrier at the bottom to keep somebody from running out onto the road?
Yeah.
And these were all things that we explored in this case. And was there signage up there saying, don't come running down the hill, traffic very close to the edge of the road, which there was no signage at all. We're talking about, this was out in the country where that you got a house every half a mile. It's not like the city. This was out in the country. Calhoun. This was in Calhoun. Yeah. So this was just right out. It may have been in the city of Calhoun, but it was just right there in the Calhoun area.
And welcome back to another episode of True Stories from a Real Private Eye. I'm your host, Vinnie Coppola. With me, as always, is Lynn Lambdin, a real private investigator here in Atlanta, Georgia. And he tells me we got a depressing one for you today. Let's hear it. Let's hear it, Lynn.
Well, Vinnie, how you been?
I've been good. It's been a busy week, bro. It's been a very busy week, but I'm hanging in there. How about you?
Well, Vinnie, it's been a busy week for me also, but that's the way I like it.
Oh, yeah.
Keeps me out of trouble.
Better than sitting around, I guess. Right?
Yeah, better than sitting around. So, yeah, we got a sad one this week, Vinnie. This one is I back in the 2000s, early 2000s, I guess it was, or a little later, maybe sometime in the 2000s.
Okay.
I get a call, and it's the date of the accident, and it's a child involved.
Oh no!
And the child, I hate child. Anytime there's a child involved.
Oh yeah.
12-year-old.
Okay.
And the accident had just happened, probably 3 or 4 hours when I got the phone call.
Okay. Car accident?
Pedestrian versus car.
Oh, no, not again.
And this is in North Georgia, up near going towards Chattanooga.
Okay.
Can't think of the city.
Okay.
But it's about halfway between here and Chattanooga, Atlanta and Chattanooga.
Dalton?
No, it's a little bit this side of Dalton. But anyway.
Okay.
A kid gets out of school, and it's a half day, and the bus let him off a little bit before his house, and he's walking down the railroad tracks, and he comes down off the railroad trestle. That's what they called it. Basically, the train goes over the street, and the road is down here, and the train goes over this way, and his house is down here on the road.
Yeah.
Well, he comes down off the train track and comes running down beside the train trestle and runs out in front of a car, and the car hits him, kills him instantly.
Ugh,
12 years old.
No.
So the law firm hires me to go and get the contract signed and start investigating to find out if there's any wrongdoing with the railroad track trestle, or it's a bridge, but they call it a trestle. That's what the railroad company called it. The railroad track trestle, to see if there's any. The railroad track trestle has been there, and it's a real narrow road. It's a 2-lane, just enough for cars to pass each way.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the trestle sets there, with the road, when you come down the hill there's no room for error.
Yeah. So
they hire me to go, get all the photos. They want the photos the same day, to go get the photos, to get the signage, and to go pull all of the sign permits, to pull everything. So basically, they want to know if the railroad company can be held responsible because really the 12-year-old's at fault for the accident because he ran out in front of the car.
Yeah.
So, and the way that the law works is you're grandfathered in. When laws change, you're grandfathered in unless you make some kind of change. So they wanted me to go see if any changes had been made to the trestle, or if any if there was any way that we could put the railroad company on notice.
So you're working for the kids' parents?
For the kids' parents.
Okay.
And on my drive up there, it was about an hour and a half drive. And on my drive up there, the thought goes through my mind, this kid is killed. He's 12 years old. He's killed. And the first thing that these parents can think about is calling a lawyer.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that goes through my mind.
Yeah, that was striking me as a little bit odd. Yeah.
They were good people. I go sit down with the mother and the father, and they're bawling. Yeah. This is one of the hardest things. Meeting with a deceased child's parents is the hardest things I've ever had to do, and I've had to do it several times in my career.
Yeah.
Whether I've had to sit down with a deceased child's parents, whether the child was wrongfully killed.
What did the kid have any brothers and sisters?
He did. He had a younger sister and an older brother.
Oh man!
And sitting down with this family was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I got tears in my eyes, and I'm trying to explain to them what we're going to do. They didn't really care about the paperwork itself. They just wanted to know what we were going to do to try to help them get justice. They wanted justice.
Right.
How do you tell a family, well, ma'am, your child ran out in front of a car?
Right.
How do you say that?
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you comfort a parent that their child just ran out in front of a car?
Right. Right.
So here I am saying, well, here's what I'm going to do, ma'am. I'm going to go take pictures of all the signage, of the trestle, of the underpass, of the bridge, of everything, of the path. Maybe the railroad company should have put a blockage up there so that they couldn't come down that hill. I'm going to go document everything involved. And we're going to research every law, and we're going to see if there's anything that can possibly be done. And Vinnie, you'd be really surprised at how a grieving parent can help you in these cases. Because
let me ask you something. If let's say that the railroad was negligible, or rather liable, is that the county's problem? I mean, is that the state, or which the city? Who gets sued?
The railroad company, whoever owns that railroad track.
Whoever owns that railroad track.
Yeah.
Isn't the railroad owned by the state or the?
No, that's probably a privately owned. That was a privately owned railroad.
Oh, okay.
No, the state don't own that.
Oh, okay.
No, railroad tracks are owned by privately owned companies.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, like CSX.
Yeah.
CSX is a privately held company.
Really? So there's like a president and a vice president and a.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not sure. I can't remember who owned this one. Who this was? I can't. Probably CSX, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I've seen that name before. So you were saying that you'd be surprised how a grieving family can help you in these cases. What did you mean by that?
Because the parents are saying, well, why didn't they put up barriers to keep the kids from coming down beside the railroad,
right?
Beside the trestle onto the road. Why wasn't there barriers put there?
Right.
Why isn't there laws to keep them from coming down there? Why doesn't the state put up a barrier at the bottom to keep somebody from running out onto the road?
Yeah.
And these were all things that we explored in this case. And was there signage up there saying, don't come running down the hill, traffic very close to the edge of the road, which there was no signage at all. We're talking about, this was out in the country where that you got a house every half a mile. It's not like the city. This was out in the country. Calhoun. This was in Calhoun.
Calhoun. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I'm sure you're familiar with Calhoun. You've probably been through there a million times.
Been through it a million times. Yeah. Heading up north to go to Chattanooga or Lexington or wherever.
Yeah. So this was just right out. It may have been in the city of Calhoun, but it was just right there in the Calhoun area.
Okay.
And so there was a million things that I had to document and do and get done. And we wanted to get it all videoed and get it on film and on camera before anybody had time to come in and change anything. And that's one of the reasons that we were glad that they called early instead of waiting a month, because they get to come in and change something. And if it gets changed, then we have a hard time proving when it was changed. And did they change it before? Did they change it after? You just have a hard time proving all of that afterwards.
Right.
And they're not going to tell you the truth about it if it's going to save them millions. So,
of course.
So, it was the most heartbreaking ordeal to sit down with this family. And I'm sitting at their kitchen table and I'm crying, the mother's crying, the father's crying, and the mother's on the phone with the funeral home trying to plan a funeral. And we're at his Vinnie, I'm telling you, it was one of the hardest cases, not because of what I was doing, but because I had to talk to that family on the day that their child died.
Okay, that was my next question. I was like, so you said you got the call when the accident happened. You drove up there and you talked to the family. This is all same day stuff.
Same day. Vinnie,
so how did the family find out that the kid got hit by the car?
Vinnie, it happened within 200 yards of their house.
Oh, okay.
They heard it.
Yeah. Wow.
The mother heard it happen.
And what happened to the driver?
She panicked and freaked out, and she stayed at the scene. I mean, it wasn't like there was anything malicious.
Yeah.
She freaked out.
Yeah.
They ended up taking her to the hospital in an ambulance because she had a panic attack, and they had to give her some kind of Valium to settle her down. They took her to the hospital.
Yeah, she's probably a wreck.
Well, sure, she was a wreck. Yeah. And the sad part about it is the mother knew the woman who hit her child.
Oh, no.
I mean, we're talking about a small town.
Yeah, they all know each other. Yeah,
they all know each other. And Vinnie, I swear, for weeks afterward, I had a hole in my heart that you would laugh for 1 minute, then you'd just be sad.
Of course.
You think about this 12-year-old kid. I just had that vision, and I could think about, you'd be sitting watching TV, having a sandwich, and I'd have the vision of sitting at the table and seeing the kid's picture, because she had the pictures of the kids hanging on the wall, and there was that kid's picture that was alive 4 hours before I got there.
Yeah.
And I'm there talking about that dead kid.
Ugh.
Vinnie, it was the most. I honestly cried with the family.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
This was, how hard it was to remain professional and try to do your job.
Absolutely.
And not look like a babbling idiot.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was the hardest job I have ever had to do. The once that I got away from the family and started taking the pictures and the videoing and stuff, it wasn't that hard, because I knew what I had to do. I knew what I was looking for.
Right.
That part was easy. I've done it a million times.
Right. Right.
I've worked a million car accidents. I know how to do this. I know how to document all this stuff. You know, this was easy. The paint was still on the road. I was taking pictures of the paint on the road and stuff, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, the insurance of the woman who hit the child, paid out $25,000, and that's all the family got.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the railroad company couldn't be held.
No, the railroad company did absolutely nothing wrong. They were within their rights. They did everything that they were required by law to do.
Now, this is an evil thought, but I have to ask: did the family go after the woman? Because it sounds like she could be sued.
Well, they went after the woman's insurance company, and the insurance.
But they can't go after her personally or anything.
Well, that's okay. The way that insurance works is so yes, you can go after the individual, but if you take the insurance and you sign the release, you're done.
Oh, right.
You've released them from the claim.
Oh, okay.
So what happened is she took the $25,000 from the insurance company and signed the release, releasing the family.
Right.
But she signed a limited release saying that she would go after any other insurance companies that were available.
Right. Right.
So,
and none were found.
Well, I don't know if there were any other insurance companies that were found or not.
Yeah.
Because my job was to document and to see if they were. My job was mainly just to document everything and to research the laws in that county to see and then turn everything over to the attorney, and then the attorney would do the research to see if there was any violations there that they could go after anybody else.
Right.
Then, but see what they did is they released since the kid was technically at fault, the insurance company paid out for one reason and one reason only. If it would have been $1 million insurance policy, the insurance would have never paid out.
Right.
Because the kid was at fault.
Right.
But since the kid was 12 years old and didn't want to be badmouthed for not paying out, they just paid out the $25,000 in good faith.
Yeah.
And the woman signed the release, releasing that insurance company and the family. So if there was any uninsured motorist or anything like that, they could go after that uninsured motorist if the family had any, which they probably wouldn't have paid out anyway.
Right.
But that's kind of what they just took. They just accepted the limited release because they released that insurance company and that family.
Right.
Of the driver of the car and that insurance company, and that's all they cared about. They protected their client and they protected theirself, and they paid out the $25,000 because it was a dead child.
Yeah.
But it was, Vinny, I'm telling you, man, it was the most heart wrenching job that I'd been on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And until this day, it's the most heart wrenching. 30 years into my career, and that's the worst job I've ever done.
Right.
Worst, one of the worst. Anytime that children's involved, it's the hardest time I have.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the hardest one that I have ever had to sit down and do.
Yeah, I bet.
Ever. Never had a job that hard in my life. And I've sat down with a lot of families who've lost loved ones from 2 to 3 hours after their death to 2 or 3 days after their death. And that's the hardest one I've ever had to do.
Yeah, I bet. Wow.
I've actually met people. I've actually met families at the funeral home while picking out caskets to interview them. And this was the hardest one I've ever done.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
This is the hardest interview that I've ever had to do.
I mean, the day of.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got young kids, man. So I hear stories like this, and you know where my head immediately goes. My heart goes out to this woman, this family.
Yeah. And listen, The kid was 12.
Yeah.
He really didn't. You can't really blame the kid, even though it was his fault, because he was a kid. He really didn't have any life experience. He didn't really know. He didn't really think it through because he really didn't have enough experience in his life to think it through.
Right. Right.
So it's not really something that you can, push over on him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It was just a silly mistake that cost him his life because he was 12 years old.
Yeah.
If he would have been 30 years old, he probably wouldn't have done it because he would have thought about it.
Right. Of course.
But since he was 12, he didn't think. And I'm going to be honest with you. When I was about 16 years old, I almost done the same thing.
This episode is brought to you by Simple Funding LLC. For all of your pre-settlement funding needs, contact Simple Funding LLC to receive your money promptly. They're a customer-centric legal funding company that provides exceptional funding solutions at affordable rates. Simple Funding covers a diverse range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, worker compensation, medical malpractice, wrongful death, and more. They recognize that life goes on and you need to access your funds immediately, which is why they offer clients a swift and efficient process with minimal documentation requirements. For more information, visit simplefundingllc.com or contact them directly at 678-855-6232.
I come running down a hill, and I got right at the edge of the road, and a car went right by me.
Yeah.
And I felt the wind off the car go right by my face.
Yeah.
Vinny, I'm telling you, if I wouldn't have had good brakes, I would have run right out in front of that car.
Oh, yeah.
But I just stopped and just stepped back, and that car went whoo.
Yeah.
I mean, I was within a millisecond of being killed.
Yeah.
And the car was speeding. And this was a straightaway. There was nothing blocking my view.
Right. Right.
So,
How old were you again? How old were you again?
I was about 16.
16, geez.
Probably 16, 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you playing a game or just
going home.
Just going home?
I was hungry. It was late in the evening. It was summertime, and I was going home. I just come running down this hill.
Yeah.
And my house was on the other side of the street. I come running down the hill, and I was just going to run across the road, and I guess the car caught my attention. I guess I heard it or caught it out of the corner of my eye, and I just stopped and just
in time.
Yeah,
Just in time.
And it just almost. I was probably somewhere between 14 and 16 years old.
Yeah.
Not much older than this poor kid.
Yeah. Wow.
So and I'm telling you, Vinny, my shirt went from the wind.
Yeah, I bet.
And so I don't really, I can't say that I blame. I mean, I'm not putting blame on this kid for what happened.
Of course not.
It's just not, it's just not his fault.
No, he's a young kid. He's a little kid. He doesn't have the life experience. He doesn't, it doesn't. See, I bet you never approached a road again.
Nope.
Quickly after that.
Nope.
You learned your lesson quick.
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
I looked both ways twice.
Yep. You gotta.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I teach my kids. Left, right, left,
Yeah. Well, I actually looked left, right, left.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, man, it's frightening. And I even take things further than that. Like, I was going to lunch with a buddy, and I drove, and we got out of the car, and as we're walking into the restaurant, he's tossing his keys up as I'm getting out of the car, and I look, and he's standing on a storm grate.
Uh-oh.
And when he caught his keys, I pushed him, and he got mad at me.
Yeah.
He goes, "What the hell are you pushing me for?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Look where you're standing."
Yeah.
And he looked, and he went, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah.
See, that process made me think things through even further.
Right.
Because my life flashed in front of my eyes, Vinny. I'm telling you, when that car passed, my life flashed in front of my eyes.
Sure.
So I even think things through on small things like dropping your keys through a grate.
Yeah.
You know, because when Matt was throwing his keys up in the air,
Yeah.
one mishap and his car is sitting in the parking lot for the next,
Yeah.
2 weeks while he's ordering a set of keys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yep. Every time I approach a storm drain, that goes through my head. I got my keys in my pocket. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yep. I think things like that through all the time, and that's what I try to tell my son all the time. You got to think things through. You got to take your time. You got to think things through because
I call it thinking 5 steps ahead.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Thinking 5 steps ahead, like this can happen, this can happen, this can happen, and this can happen. Just be prepared for it. Just get ready for it.
Yep.
Don't walk around, with blinders on. Hey, everything's gonna be okay. Nope, no, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Well, I tell you what, I locked my keys in my car when I was like 18 years old. So ever since that day, I would lock my car with the key. I would stick it in the door and lock it, and that's how I would lock my car.
Yeah.
And people would make fun of me. They would go, just push the lock down and shut it. I said, yeah, that's how I locked my keys in my car last time.
Yeah.
See, this way, if I do it this way, I've always got my key in my hand.
Yeah.
And
when I lived in Jacksonville, Florida, I was working as a courier, where I would, I'd pick up stuff at one office, I'd deliver it to another office, and one time I had a delivery at, what's the name of that big insurance company? Blue Cross Blue Shield. So I pull into that big driveway in front of that building, and I get the package, and I just close the door, and I run inside and I turn around and I go, I left the car on, and then I go back, it's locked.
Yep.
I locked my keys in the car, just not thinking.
Yep.
Just, I got to deliver this package. Like my head was somewhere else, and now bear in mind, I'm like, what, 24, 23, 24 years old, which is hard to admit, but yes, it was that. I was that old, 23 and 24, locked the keys in the car, had to stand outside, waving at people like, oh, I'm the idiot, waiting for a tow truck to come and unlock my car. Oh, it was so embarrassing. And ever since that day, this isn't a problem now because we have the dook thing,
yeah.
and we have the keypad. Yeah. I got both on my expedition now, but back then I had a spare key with the inside that little box with the magnet that hooks up onto the car.
Yep.
Never doing that again because I sat out there.
Yep.
For several hours, felt like a moron.
Yep.
Yeah.
And not only that, you have to spend the money you made on the last 5 jobs because you made a mistake on one.
Right. And I lost money because I was, you made money per delivery.
Yep.
So 2.5, 3 hours, that's 5 or 6 deliveries per hour.
Yeah.
It was a loss of income. It was a loss of dignity. It was a loss of. It was. Dude, I'm sitting outside. Cops are pulling up. You're not allowed to park here. I go, I'd love to move it, pal. I'd love to move it, but my keys are inside. He goes, I go, I'm waiting for a tow truck. I go, I'll get out of here as soon as I can. Several officers, move this car, son. I know. Wish I could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lock my keys in my car at a rest stop.
At a rest stop.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I talk about thinking ahead. I have keys underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a hidden key. In my if I ever lock myself out of my house, because I did that one time and I had to kick the door in. Then I had to pay somebody to come and fix the freaking door, and I was just like, oh, what am I gonna do? Fuck it, I gotta get inside. You know?
Well, I got a garage door opener on my phone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got a keypad for my garage door opener, but still, that door is locked inside the garage. But I have a key hidden.
Yeah.
That if, yeah, just that one thing with the car in front of Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things like that. You know, that's called life lessons that makes you not do the stupid things and that can cause you your life. And that's the one thing that caused that little boy his life was he just didn't have those life lessons. And
Yeah.
if he would have just thought about it for a minute, and but he lived on a rural road, he probably didn't get 10 cars a day.
He had something else on his mind. He probably could, like you, he couldn't wait to get home. He was going to go make himself a snack. He was, just,
Yeah.
hey, let me get down there. I mean, you can't blame him for that.
No.
But what a tragedy, dude.
Man, Vinny is the most heartbreaking. I'm telling you, man, just it's. I still think about that little boy and his family. It still weighs on my mind. It's still, that's one of those that I'll never forget. As long as I live, I'll never forget that family.
I'm sure of it.
I still keep that family in my prayers.
Dude,
yeah.
I can't stop thinking about the woman that did it. I mean, she must be a wreck.
Well, yeah, they took her to the hospital. They took her out of there in an ambulance to the hospital.
I'm sure of it. I mean, at night, she's going to sleep. I mean, I don't know. That's when all the demons lurk into your head, when you're right before you sleep, if you can't sleep and your head's spinning and all the things like, oh man,
yeah,
I messed this up or I did this. It happens to me.
Yeah.
Have these little bouts with anxiety and doubt and fear and failure and blah, blah, blah. So I can just imagine if I hurt somebody without intending to. And God, I don't know how I'd go on, bro.
I don't either. I mean, that, and it wasn't her fault.
It wasn't her fault. I'm not blaming her. I'm just saying that I couldn't.
No,
especially a kid, bro.
Yeah,
especially a kid. Yeah,
and she couldn't see the kid coming down the hill.
Right.
I mean, the kid just appeared from behind the wall, the trestle wall there, and just bam, just.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel for the family and I feel for the woman that hit him. It wasn't her fault either, but.
Yeah. So there was no braking. There was just bam.
Yep. No braking.
Yeah. Until after the hit, then.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that?
Yep.
Oh, how terrible, buddy.
Yeah.
How terrible.
Just one of the most, I just can't tell you how I felt sitting there with that family. I just can't tell you how bad my heart hurt sitting there. Just can't explain it to you.
I hear you, bro.
Just can't explain it to you.
Yeah. Well, listen, we have promised you, extraordinary stories, funny stories, depressing stories. This was one of them. This was one of the depressing ones, but it's a true story. It happened to Lynn. He experienced it, and these are his stories. So thank you so much for being here. Hey, you could probably use a laugh. Check out my website, Vinnie.com, VINNIE.com. If you like stand-up, if you like goofball videos, hopefully I can make you laugh. If you need a private investigator, if you need to find somebody, if you need someone surveilled, if you need to serve someone papers, Lynn Lambdin is the best, ladies and gentlemen. Look him up online. Tell him your website, Lynn.
www.lwias.com. www.lwias.com. And I will tell you this. Late nights when I have those sleepless nights and I just need to laugh, I go to Vinnie's videos and I laugh.
I appreciate that. Those
taxi cab or those bad Uber driver.
Yeah,
those I can watch those over and over and over and laugh every time.
Thank you. Yeah, you can see both Bad Uber Driver 1 and Bad Uber Driver 2 on my website. Go to the the acting page. Just click the acting page. You'll see that's what I'm talking about when I say goofball videos. I got a bunch of them on my YouTube and on my Bad Uber Driver. That's like my favorite thing I've done. Because it took so much time. I put together a lot of great actors and filmed it, edited it all by myself. Did the sound, did everything. Yeah, so
they are funny though, Vinny. They turned out well.
Thank you, buddy. It's my little pet project.
You know what makes them funny?
What?
Because somebody has experienced those Uber drivers.
Oh, for sure.
Somebody's experienced those.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That falls in under the category you can't make this shit up.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'll tell you, dude. When I lived in Los Angeles, I used to work as a Uber driver, and I had experiences where I wanted to be that guy, and I wasn't, because I'm trying to be the nice guy, and I'm like, wow, that's funny, and that's basically how it came up.
Let me tell you. You're talking about bad. This is a true story, Vinny.
Yeah.
And this is not an Uber driver, but this is a true story.
Right.
I was working at the Punchline, and we had a show one Saturday night, or Friday or Saturday night. I don't remember which it was. It was late, probably a Saturday night because it was really late. We got everybody out except this two females, and one female standing at the bathroom door so drunk that she can't even stand up. She's propped up against the wall. And the other female is in the bathroom straddling the toilet, heaving and throwing up.
Oh, God.
And the other bartender that's there with me that night is in the bathroom with this girl trying to talk her out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And she's heaving.
Yeah.
And his name is Mark.
Yeah.
You probably even know who I'm talking about.
Yes, I do. Yes,
and he won't help her. He won't touch her.
Yeah.
And as she's throwing up, she's going down so far in the toilet, she's bubbling.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And Mark says to her, he goes, honey, you probably don't want to stick your face in the water.
Yeah.
That's what Bad Uber Driver reminds me of.
Oh, thank you, bro. Thank you. That kind of comedy. That's my shit.
And when I
that kind of goofball, maybe it's gross, maybe it's not funny. Yeah.
But when I walked in the bathroom, to ask Mark what was going on.
Yeah.
And that's what I walked in on, was her head down in the water and it bubbling.
Oh,
and Mark saying to her, honey, you probably don't want to stick your face in the water.
Yeah. Holy cow.
And I just
hopefully she didn't remember that part of her evening.
When I walked in and heard that, I laughed so hard.
I bet I would have.
And I told Mark,
you know how nonchalant Mark can be.
Yes.
Like, honey, yeah.
And when he said it, I thought to myself, when I quit laughing, the only thing that I could say to him was, as I've been working here 15 years, and there's not one comedian said anything that funny.
Yeah, for sure.
He goes,
I obviously hadn't come through yet. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Simple Funding, for sponsoring this episode. We do appreciate it. We will see you next week.